Hey, what is going on, everyone? I hope all of you are doing well, and I want to welcome you all to a collection update. So, yesterday was pretty interesting because I went out to find a few things to flip, and I only managed to find three things. Everything else I found, I added to the collection. It was like the thrifting gods were out there leading things my way, and one of the thrift stores I went to, I hadn't been there in maybe a few months and decided to go in, and she had new stuff. So, yeah, picked up a good majority from there. I got eBay, and then I went to another thrift store and was able to only find a few titles. They've been jacking up their prices a little bit more. Their DVDs at one point were $1. Now they're $2. And if it's got like more, I think their seasons are like $5. Or video games are $5. It's just way too much. I feel like to some extent, but what I did find when I looked up the values on eBay, definitely glad I got them for cheaper because a lot of these are like $8, 13. I even found one for that. On eBay it sold for about 27 to $30. That was a really cool find. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start off with the eBay pickups. So the first one here is Dick Tracy, one of my favorite childhood films. I've been trying to slowly pick up a lot of the films I grew up with in the 90s, like Phantom's another one I still need to get, The Rocketeer, and of course Dick Tracy is no exception. This is the Mill Creek release. So I know Disney at one point released this, and it looked like Mill Creek had released it as well. Completely bare bones. I really wish this movie would get a better addition, some better treatment, because I just feel like it really gets the short end of the stick, especially with the lack of having no features. But it's a fun movie. It's a very colorful movie. Danny Elfman did the score on this. Has a wide range, not wide ride. Has a wide range of fantastic actors that you'll recognize. I even completely forgot that Dick Van Dyke is in this. He's got a small little appearance. So yeah, just a fun, cheesy 90s adaptation to an old classic radio serial, I believe. Comic strip. Not exactly 100% sure what the original origin is, but yeah, very, very happy to finally add that to the collection. The next one here is Scary Movie. This is an upgrade from the DVD I had. This is the first release of the film. They actually ended up re-releasing the film, like a lot of films, with different artwork. The one thing I love about some of the earlier Blu-ray releases is the unique, shiny, silver banner that they got with like the generic backing. Um, I don't know. I have more of appreciation on it now compared to a lot of the artwork that we get, because you can tell some that they put some work into, and others they just photoshopped. But it's always cool to find these old school releases, the first printing of them. And sometimes I feel like some of the first printing, when it comes to the quality, is sometimes better. I don't know what that is, what the reason for that is, but it could just be my eyes playing games with me. I don't know. But very happy to finally have Scary Movie on Blu-ray. I do need to eventually pick up Scary Movie 2, and that'll be it. I don't care for the sequels. I did do a review on all five movies, and the first two are pretty much the best films out of the series. Then I picked up a couple DVDs from a YouTuber. He is part of the eBay community, the reselling community, and he gives like tips and things like that, and shows how he does his packaging when it comes to selling media. Excuse me. So I checked out his eBay store. He had two movies that I really wanted to get. The first one being The Beastmaster, which is a film I truly did not know existed on DVD. I think it was just the VHS that existed and that was it. But no, apparently Anchor Bay ended up releasing this years back. It's out of print, but it's not one of those too expensive out of print titles. I think it's like a $10 to $15 movie, which is not bad. So I was very happy to find this. It does have sequels. There's a part 2 and 3 out there. I think the only way you can get those are VHS releases, but I think you can find homebrew DVD releases of part 2 and 3. But I'm very happy to finally have that. It is directed by Don Coscarelli, who did Phantasm, those movies, and he also did Bubba Hotep. Next, we have frogs. This is a really interesting creature feature that I've been wanting to check out for quite a while. It's funny because when I bought this, not too long after I bought it, it was announced that the Blu-ray release will be coming out by Kino Lorber. So, yeah, kind of put my, kind of kicked myself in the, butt, or kicked myself in the foot. It's a weird term, but yeah, it is what it is. It kind of happens. I think that's the first time that has happened to me. I know a lot of individuals out there who have bought like the Blu-ray just for the 4K to be announced. That's the first time something like that has happened, where I, bought something and then, hey, we're announcing the Blu-ray. So moving on, I picked up Rage of Honor. I've seen this years ago, had the Arrow video release, got rid of it for some odd reason. I was wrong on the price. I think when I did the unboxing for this, I had talked about how the film is like worth, it's like going for 80, 70 to $80 on eBay. But I've seen other sellers sell this around $40, $50. So I think it just depends on the seller. I don't know exactly the exact amount that it's truly going for. But I think from what I saw, I think it's going for 40. That may be used. The 80 may be brand new. I don't know. But it's a really fun, cheesy B movie, and I really enjoyed it. Next, we have Revenge of the Ninja. I have never seen this, but it caught my interest, and I figured, why not give it a shot? It was brought to my attention from Rob's Nightmares. I will put the link down to his channel. He had stated that this is available through Kino, I believe, and it's at a reasonable price. When I went to look, yeah, it's like a $12 to $13 Blu-ray. Kind of wish I knew that ahead of time, because I did pay. I mean, I paid $9.99 with free shipping for this. But to be quite honest with you, I could have probably paid the extra couple of bucks and got it on Blu-ray. But it is what it is. But it's nice to know that there is a Blu-ray release. So if I do upgrade a lot of these titles down the road, I will indeed, be able to pick it up at a reasonable price. So now we're going to get into a lot of great stuff. Eventually, when I make enough eBay sales, I will have to buy replacement cases, because a lot of these definitely need new cases. So the first one we have here is Tucker, starring Jeff Bridges. And this looked pretty interesting, so I figured I'd give it a shot. It's from 1988. This is about like $11 to $12 DVD used. So I'm glad I was able to get it for maybe $1, maybe less than that. Saves me about $11 to $10 out of pocket on having to pick it up off of eBay. So really cool to find that. The artwork was pretty cool. I found a couple double features. We have Maximum Overdrive and Raw Deal. And a lot of these are, if you ever come across them, you can flip them, because a lot of these do go, have a great resale value. But I've been wanting to rewatch Maximum Overdrive, and considering I don't have the Vestron release, I figured I would, you get the DVD. I was trying to find the better term for it. Next is Navy SEALs and Red Dawn. Been wanting to revisit Navy SEALs. Really enjoyed that movie. Red Dawn's good as well. I didn't realize Navy SEALs actually has a 4K release. So yeah, these two have 4K releases out there. And the cool thing about this one is you do get each film on its own disc. So that was pretty cool. Red Dawn's the like terrible flipper discs. I cannot stand those. They get easily scratched and they are hard to resurface. Um, so a lot of times I try to avoid DVDs that look like that, especially if they're in bad shape. The next one here is Conan the Complete Quest. I would love to get the Arrow set, but that's just too expensive. And it's hard too to figure out what you want because you have the full box set with both movies, and then you have the individual releases. And the individual releases are pretty nice as well. So it's like, to get those, it's like, well, what's the better? You know, what am I getting? Am I getting more for my buck, basically? But I want to revisit the films, so I picked up the DVD. Very happy to find that. Next, we have Lost in Space. This is the 1998, 1999 adaptation. Um, I really enjoyed this movie. I saw it in theaters when it came out. Had a good time with it, and I know a lot of people don't like this movie, but it's one of my favorites. Shout Factory, under their Scream Factory label, actually ended up releasing this, and I do eventually plan to upgrade. But considering I wanted to revisit the film since I didn't have it, went ahead and picked it up. Great cast. I mean, we have the late great uh, William Hurt. We have Gary Oldman. We have Lacey Chabert. We have Heather Graham, Mimi Rogers, Matt LeBlanc. I mean, a great cast. Um, so very happy to pick that up. Picked up a childhood classic, Dennis the Menace. You cannot go wrong. I don't care for those other ones that have come out. This is the best one out of them. Walter Matthau, truly, truly missed. Fantastic actor. Leah Thompson's in it. Christopher Lloyd's performance is just absolutely amazing. He plays a creep really, really well. The characters that he has played, the acting ability is just absolutely amazing. If you ever watch Taxi, which is one of my favorite shows, he just kills it with his character. I mean, he's just all out there and it works. Christopher Lloyd, I feel like, does not get enough credit when it comes to a lot of his other performances. I know we all know him as Doc Brown, but with all the other stuff he has done, I just feel like he doesn't get enough credit. But yeah, Dennis the Menace, just a fun classic film. The next one here is Captain Ron. I haven't seen this one in years. Kurt Russell, Martin Short. I'm not even sure who else is in this. It's a Touchstone picture release. I don't even know if this one has a Blu-ray release. I don't even think it's been available. I'm sure there's a homebrew release out there somewhere. But yeah, I'm looking forward to revisiting this. It's been quite some time. Don't remember a whole lot, but very happy to find that. I'll save the next few for last. This was a cool find, Delta Force 2 with Chuck Norris. Been trying to boost up my action B type movies, so why not get some Chuck Norris? I do need to pick up the first movie, which is the plan. This I thought was a really cool find, and I've been finding a lot of these MGM releases. I've been investing, possibly getting a lot of the horror ones that are out there, like The Beast Within, Night of the Comet, Scarecrow. But we have the Pink Panther Classic Cartoon Collection of Volume 4. This is the animated series. I remember watching the reruns on, I think, Nickelodeon. I think it was Nickelodeon that aired the reruns. I could be wrong on that. But I always enjoyed it. The theme is fantastic. I've never seen the movies. Maybe down the road I will watch those. But I'm truly looking forward to this. I will pick up the other volumes. I think they're pretty reasonable. So trying to complete that shouldn't be that bad. Next, I picked up Mannequin with Andrew McCarthy and Kim Cattrall. From what I was told, this was the very first movie my mom ever took me to see. Of course, I was a small child, so I really don't remember anything. But I am looking forward to it. Basically, the plot is goofy. You know, Andrew McCarthy, falls in love with a mannequin who just so happens to turn into a human. So yeah, looking forward to watching that. I thought I had this, but I didn't. I actually have Demolition Man, I believe. I want to say I do, but then I could be wrong. Um, I really need to start. Yeah, I have Demolition Man, so I didn't have this, and that is Judge Dredd. Um, I love this movie. It's just a fun little action film. I have no disrespect for the Carl Urban film that I do enjoy, but I love this one just slightly more, just because it's just a fun, cheesy '90s action film. Now, for the longest time, I've been wanting to get this film on Blu-ray, and I keep passing it up. I think it's more of just like a lot of these catalog titles and these boutique titles are just way too pricey. I mean, come on, 20 to 25 to 30 bucks. It adds up if you want more than one title, and I like to get good deals. I like to be cheap and get my money's worth, I think is the best way to put it. So I figured I'd just stick with the DVD, and if I ever come across the Blu-ray sometime down the road, then I will upgrade. But I ended up picking up Evolution, which is such a fun movie. It's highly underrated. I don't hear people talk about this movie. The cast alone, I mean, we got David Duchovny, Orlando Jones, Sean William Scott, Julianne Moore. Orlando Jones doesn't get enough credit. I absolutely love him. He is a fantastic actor. Mad TV, one of the I want to say is one of pretty much the OG cast member of that. And I just wish he would do more. I wish he would get the respect and credit that he deserves. I truly do. You also have Ethan Slurpee, or I'm sure I pronounced that wrong. He's in this. You get Michael Bauer, I believe is his name. Donkey Lips from Salute Your Shorts. Dan Aykroyd has an appearance, and there's a few others that are in this. But it's a weird, fun, goofy movie. It actually ended up getting a cartoon series back in the day, I think on Fox. Was it Fox? I think it was Fox, but yeah, and there was also a Twin Line, I think, as well. The next one here is a full moon title called Petrified. Looked interesting, so I figured why not. It looks like it's from 2006. The only thing is I don't see anybody that looks, familiar in here, to say the least. So, yeah, I figured why not. Uh, I'm sure it's going to be a fun, cheesy horror film. Next is Vertical Limit. So the Blu-ray for this is a little more than what I'm willing to pay, so I figured I would just stick with the DVD. Such a great drama. Chris O'Donnell, Robin Tunney, Bill Paxton, Scott Glenn. I don't know what Robin Tunney's been up to. I don't know if she retired from acting or what. But this is a really good drama that deals with Mount Everest and things like that. And just there's some scenes in here that are just creepy, heartbreaking, and sad, and just such a highly underrated film. And I do apologize for the shaking. Next is Flight of the Navigator. This was brand new when I got it. It's one of my all-time favorite films. They filmed this in Miami. I used to live close there back in the day, and there is a documentary, I think, out on the actor of this film and the trouble that he had to deal with throughout his life. I believe it's Flight of the Navigator. Do not quote me on that, but I'm convinced that's what it is. You have a young Sarah Jessica Parker. There's a few recognizable faces, but I highly recommend for those who have not seen it to give it a watch. The next one here that I picked up is Iron Eagle. This was a really cool find. I have seen a couple scenes here and there, but never watched the film in its entirety. So I am looking forward to giving it a watch. And a lot of these titles I've been finding do include the little insert, chapter scene insert. So really cool to find that. Then I picked up Short Circuit, such a classic 80s. This is one of those movies that I think it has a high demand for, especially when it comes to the Blu-ray, because the Blu-ray goes for a good price and it went out of print. I think it ended up going back in print and then going back out of print. So yeah, it's a fun, cheesy little comedy that deals with a robot. I do want to pick up the second one. it on DVD if I can find it for a good price. I think if you find the DVD for part two and this and put them together, you can make like 15 to 20 bucks just about. There is a double feature out there as well. So yeah, definitely need to pick that up. Next is a John Candy film, Who's Harry Crumb? Um, Never seen it. Looks pretty interesting. It's got Annie Potts, which Annie Potts I love. She's one of my favorite actresses, one of my celebrity crushes. It's got Jeffrey Jones. Yeah, not somebody we should be talking about. He, in my eyes, he is Lord Voldemort. Lord Voldemort, the man who should not be named. If you guys know who he is, you know the movies Beetlejuice, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Howard the Duck, but the history behind him is just, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Um, that seems to be it. Shawnee Smith sounds familiar. I'm not sure who else is in this, but yeah, looking forward to checking it out. And then speaking of John Candy, I did come across a Blu-ray and I picked up Uncle Buck. This is an upgrade to the John Candy triple feature I had. So I still got to get Going Berserk and The Great Outdoors. Going Berserk is going to be a little pricey because that is a Shot Select release. All right, we're getting close. Got a few more titles. So the next one here I picked up is The Naked Gun. Definitely want to get together two films as well as the TV series. Excuse me. I know these are available on Blu-ray, and I know this is available on 4K, but I don't know. I feel like it's one of those films I just don't need to have on Blu-ray, and I think that's what I'm trying. I'm getting I get really OCD when it comes to a lot of things, and I feel like with a lot of these older titles, I really don't have to have them on Blu-ray or 4K. Like this, the Crocodile Dundee films, the Species films. I feel like just there's movies out there I just don't necessarily have to have on those formats. And I've gotten to a point where I get very OCD, where it's like, oh yeah, let me go ahead and get the Blu-ray for this, or let me get the, because the quality is better. And yeah, it is. But I feel like there's a lot of other reasons. One, the pricing is too much, and two, it's just nice to have the DVD so I can watch it whenever, and find it cheap and not have to pass on it because I want to get the Blu-ray, especially if I want to watch the film, sooner rather than later. This was a cool find. Suburban Commando. Love this movie. Why this does not have a Blu-ray is beyond me. It's Warner Brothers, so come on, Warner Archive. It's under the new line. Give us a Blu-ray of this under the Warner Archive collection, please. I'll pay just to have this on Blu-ray. Um, Christopher Lloyd, fantastic actor. Shelley Duvall. That iconic scene, Hogan's like, "What are you guys gonna do?" Because they moved, because the neighbors are working on this hot rod, and he's like, you know, "Are you crazy? It's the '90s. We're gonna sue you." It's that classic scene or line that we see in. I want to say there's a trailer for this in the VHS release of TMNT Secret of the Ooze. Or in another line, "I was frozen today." I remember from the trailer. Undertaker's in this. Is it Mark Calloway? I think is his name. Um, he's in this, but what's funny about it is they dubbed over his voice. So it's like a squeaky, soft spoken voice, and there's a few scenes that just are absolutely hilarious. Now we're going to get into two of the coolest pickups. So the first one I picked up here is Remo Williams with the late, great Fred Ward. Um, a very underrated actor. I truly believe that. Look at the amount of films he has done, and some films that he has done are just classics. Tremors, Tremors 2, The Crow Salvation, which I do like. He plays DJ Qualls' father in Road Trip. I mean, he just has a great range of films, and it's just truly sadly sad. Sadly sad. It's going to be my new word of the day that he's no longer with us. Looks like it's going to be a fun, cheesy action film, and I'm excited for it. It's from '85. It's got Wilford Brimley, the diabetes. And yes, I have to say, every time I hear his name, that's all I can do is diabetes. I'm sure I'm 100% sure that's him. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I'm positive that's him. And who else is in this? Does he even say? Probably not. Yeah, it doesn't say. I'm sure there'll be other like little appearances by other people. And then finally, one of the best pickups. This is an old Anchor Bay release, but it is My Science Project. This stars Dennis Hopper and Fisher Stevens, John Stockwell, and Daniel Von Zernick. Um, I'm excited to check this out. I believe there's a Blu-ray release out there. I don't know who it's by. My guess would be like Mill Creek, Echo Bridge. Um, I looked this up, and this is about a $27 to $30 DVD. Holy crap. Um, so I was very happy I was able to get it for $1 or less. I'm excited for it. Fisher Stevens and Dennis Hopper, I like their work. Um, and it also includes the chapter selection. If you guys aren't familiar with Fisher Stevens, and I think that's him right there. I believe he was in the Super Mario Brothers movie. I think he played one of the henchmen. He was in Hackers. Um, I also believe he was in. I think he's the one that creates Johnny Five, I believe, in Short Circuit. Um, so yeah, he's an actor. I feel like doesn't get enough credit. Um, Really one of those actors you would recognize his face, especially in the '90s, because I think like left and right, he was in pretty much just about everything. Um, but yeah, that is my collection update. A lot of great titles. I like I said, I feel like the thrifting gods were on my side this time around because I was not expecting to find as much as what I found. There were a few titles I passed on that I would have loved to had picked, have gotten. There was a bunch of Jackie Chan movies like Mr. Nice Guy, Rumble in the Bronx, First Strike, and then there were some early Steven Seagal films. But yeah, I still managed to find some great titles. So if you've seen any of these, let me know what your thoughts are on these movies. And don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys want to check out my eBay store, I'll put the link down in the description below. As of right now, I have a buy one get one free on all the Blu-rays that I have on my eBay store, and then there's one 4K that's part of that deal. I am trying to set a limit of, funds to reach after fees and shipping. One of those, the limit, the specific amount I'm trying to get to is going to allow me to pick up a few more packaging supplies that I need for the business, some inventory to get, and some cases because I got to replace these cases. I got to get some cases for some of the DVDs that you see right here. That's the artwork. I have the discs in a little binder. Got to get cases for those, and then I plan to hopefully make enough to start picking up pieces of furniture that I need for the project that I want to do that I talked about in my collection update. So hopefully I'll meet that. If there's stuff you guys find, I do combine shipping, and then whatever the difference is, I do, if somebody buys more than one item and the shipping gets added, then if say, I take the price of the movie. Man, I'm getting ahead of myself. I hate that when that happens. Basically, I combine shipping. When they buy more than one item, whatever it's going to cost for shipping from the combined shipping, I just give them different. So if medium mail is $4.13, they're going to get whatever they paid in total for shipping. Look at the difference back on that. And a lot of times to avoid that, they message me. They ask, hey, I'm interested in all these titles. So usually I'll put free shipping on the rest of them and just charge for the one item that they want. Or I'm willing to do free shipping especially if they buy more than 1 or 2 items. If they're buying like 5 or 6, then I'll do free shipping on the entire purchase. But definitely, if you guys are interested in anything and you want a good deal, message me through eBay. And like I said, the Blu-rays I have and the 4K are part of a buy one get one free deal going on, and that's going to last until the end of the month. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I'm Film Talk with Mike, and until next time, guys, we'll talk films. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. Peace.